Hello and welcome back to the course R for Journalists. We are going to go over the last part of this first section of ggplot 2. We are going to now talk about facets and small multiples. So remember how that big scatter plot we created above had all types of different colors and on one viz, and it was all clustered together? We can break that out into individual charts, which is sometimes referred to as small multiples. So let's kind of recreate that chart. ggplot 2 ages, geom point, and this I'm going to put the aesthetics within geom point. X equals actor age, y equals actress age, plus I've got one too many parentheses, I need to put that back. So gplot ages plus geom point age actress plus, let me see if I can find it again. Nope. Expand limits, remember? X equals 0, y equals 0, plus geom AB line, intercept equals 1, and the column color for the column was light gray, plus facet grid. That's the new column I'm talking to you about, and we're going to pass a couple of variables in there. What do we want to, we're not going to look at that, we're going to look at the ages data frame. Okay, first let's bring this up without the facet. So what do we want to break this out by? And what I mean is, it's hard to explain until I show you what it looks like. So what are some variables we might be interested in breaking out by? I'm going to choose actor, and I'm going to choose genre. And that's all we got to do. This is a way to packing more variables into a chart. So genre, and we add the other one by the tilde, and then actor. Let's run that. Take a second to load. There we go. So we turned that one chart into a grid of charts. So we've got actors up along the top, and we've got the genre broken out along the side. So that's pretty cool, right? We've got 4 variables we're working with, and it is all displayed pretty well. Like we can all interpret this. Remember how I was complaining about the clusters before? It was kind of hard to kind of break them out. So that's great. So we can see the drama for Denzel is clustered around here. Drama for Tom Hanks is really close to that 1-to-1 line. So that's pretty cool. So let's add another variable. Why not? Copy and paste. This time I'm going to add to the AES budget. Why not? We have circles, right? Run that. Pop that out. Alright. Pretty interesting. As the actor gets older, for Johnny Depp, the bigger his budget seems to get. Might be the opposite for Mr. Hanks. Huh. Interesting. So 5 variables we've got in here, folks. That's a lot. So the sizing kind of jumbles, though, up in the circles in some of these. But keep playing around with the alpha, or change the size of it. Maybe like divide by 2 or something. Like budget divided by 2. You can keep playing around with this and get something that you are okay with looking at. You can play around with it more, right? So there are other types of ways to create small multiples through facets. So let's see. Instead of genre, we can do a period so we can just look at one facet. It'll break it out by one variable. And if I started out with the period, tilde, and the variable, then it splits it up into columns. Now if I flip that around and did actor, tilde, period, then it would give me rows as facets. Okay. Now what if I don't like either of those because, you know, it's way too vertical or it's way too horizontal? The other way to do this is not facet grid, but facet wrap. And I'm going to pass it whatever variable. So let's go back to genre. And this time I like this one more than the other, more than facet grid. I like facet wrap because I can specify the number of columns I want to pass. So ncol equals, let's say 4. Number of columns is what it stands for. Whoa, okay, well I can fix that and make it even by doing 3. Alright, so much better, right? So, I want to talk about global versus local really quick. So everything nested in ggplot here will be considered global and applies to all the rest of the layers. So for example, ggplot ages, and then AES x equals actor age, y equals actor's age, plus geom point. So when I mean everything is global, it's if it's nested in this parenthesis for ggplot. So everything within these two parentheses after ggplot, that means it's going to be passed on to the rest of the data. But I can pass AES to the geom point as well, and that will be a local layer and applies to that layer only, whatever I tell it. So if I try this again, and this time I say another, I can pass it another AES and say I want color to be actor. Alright, so you can set that data locally. This is very useful if you want to highlight a specific subset from that data. So let's create a new data frame of ages, but this time I'm going to drop the actor variable, and you'll see why in a little bit. So ages copy I'm going to create, and it'll start with the ages data frame and select minus actor because I'm dropping it. So I've got 6 variables instead of 7. So this time I'm going to plot ages again, and I'm going to make this global, what I'm doing, AES actor age, x equals actor age, comma, y equals actor's age, comma, color equals actor this time. So this is all global, plus, and this is where I'm going to do some layers. Geom point, this is some local data right here I'm referring to. I'm now going to say data is ages copy, and I want the color for this one to be gray. All ages will be gray, and you'll see what this does in a little bit. And then on top of that, geom point. So I got 2 levels of geom point. The first level is gray, and the second one, geom point with nothing in it, will pull from this global data frame. All right, this global layer. Then plus, and then I'm going to do facet wrap of actor. Plus, I'm going to make the legend disappear. And to do that, I'm going to pass it theme function, and then legend.position equals, and then in quotation marks, none. I'm going to put a comment in there. Removes legend. And let's run this. I'll show you something cool. Alright. How interesting is that? I'll make the size a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's easier to see on your computer screen, hopefully. Okay, we were able to use different data sets. Globally, we wanted to use the ages data frame because we were going to facet that. And we needed a second data set without the actor variable in it to plot in the background layer and set the color manually to gray, because the first layer we wanted to facet it out, right, and have everything separate. But then we wanted the second data set to be consistent and grayed out to show the context of everything. So we can see Denzel Washington in the context of everyone else, George Clooney in the context of everyone else, and Johnny Depp. So this is a pretty cool graphic we made, right? So this type of chart really improves on the first scatter plot because it makes it easier to see each individual group in context to the rest of the data. Okay, so next steps. With some practice and understanding of basic geom types, you can quickly iterate through different ways of visualizing your data. We've gone through so many things, and all it took was just kind of keeping things consistent. The data name, frame name, maybe a couple of the geoms, and then by throwing in a few more variables or changing up some of the geom types, we were able to really go through a lot of different charts pretty quickly. And the more you practice it, the more quickly you'll be able to pull them off. So once your data is structured correctly, you can use ggplot 2 to slice, group, and facet data visually multiple ways until you find something that's worth elaborating on. So what is being communicated? What information is left out or obscured? Going through these examples, you saw how shapes and the layout and the number of variables all matter. So swapping out geoms and aesthetics, different combinations communicated better than others. It all depends on the structure of data and what it contains. So by visualizing data with the grammar of graphics, you'll approach data in a very flexible way. So great. Let's do more with charts, including how to move beyond exploring data visually and how to get these charts to publication quality. I'll see you in the next video.